our favourite Slovenian skier has won Stage 8 of the Vuelta España, to no one's great surprise, beating the whining O'Connor in the Sierra de Cazorla, cutting 46 seconds of his lead on a third category pass. We'd already told him that it's one thing if the attacker Enric Mas or the dinosaur Mikel Landa had taken 5 minutes of advantage over Roglic, but it's quite another when it's a rider just a little above average like O'Connor. The advantage that he'd achieved over the Slovenian, in the view of anyone with the slightest knowledge of cycling, was insufficient. Now your Uncle Cycling Highlights was actually on vacation today, having a drink with his old friend Biana. But beyond the Vuelta España show, something happened that prompted us to make a short video for YouTube. You see, it's no longer the Slovenian alien or even the Danish anchovy that's breaking the records of dopers from the 1990s. No, now it's the new monster of the matching factory, Pablo Torres, only 18 years old. He's already broken the record of real dirty dopers, like Danilo De Luca or Gilberto Simoni, or even salbutamol Froome on the day of his last great victory as a professional, on possibly the hardest mountain pass in cycling, the Colle della Finestre. Subscribe to the channel for more cycling videos, and don't forget to follow us on our personal Twitter, @UncleCycling, to keep up with the latest cycling news. And now let's analyse this absolutely legendary performance at the Tour de l'Avenir that minstrels and troubadours will be singing about for decades. Just yesterday we told you about Pablo Torres here on the channel. And we're going to leave you again all that information so that you can remember it and be clear about the context that we're talking about. Pay attention! You can already see him crossing the finish line in Les Carélies. It's Pablo Torres, Spanish rider of the Saunier Duval subsidiary team, who's put on a tremendous exhibition in the Tour de l'Avenir, crushing the main favourite Jarno Vidar, the leader Joe Blackmore, and the dangerous Dutch dynamic duo of the Rabobank team, formed by Darren van Beckham and Tijmen Graat. He did it thanks to an attack 6 kilometres from the finish line, one which destroyed the big favourites. Something surprising for a young man of only 18 years of age. According to our friend Gabriel from Lanterne Rouge, Torres has literally put on the best ascent in history for a young man of his age, with an incredible power-to-weight figure of 6.29 watts per kilo during more than half an hour of ascent. We're talking about an equivalent of 427 watts. Figures far superior to those of the Slovenian alien Poggi when he competed in this race, and similar to that of some great cycling superstars of the previous decade, which they only achieved at the age of 23 or 24 years of age. Although he had won some junior races in Spain, such as the Vuelta a Valladolid or the Trofeo Mas de la Costa, it hasn't been until this season, 2024, when he finally exploded in the ranks of the Saunier Duval Gen Z, with a stage victory in the Valle d'Aosta, a second place in the Giro Next Gen behind Jarno Vidar, and these very impressive performances in the Tour de l'Avenir, which are typical of professionals of a high level. After that first exhibition of the very young Spanish cyclist, yesterday he had to suffer the bitter side of cycling on the penultimate stage of the Tour de l'Avenir. On the way to Condu, the 21-year-old Briton Joseph Blackmore from the Jewish Israel Premier Tech team, a close friend of the White Kenyan since they rode together in the Tour of Rwanda 2024, he launched an ambush attack that caught the Spaniard Torres off guard, and instead he preferred to stay on Jarno Vidar's wheel instead of following the dangerous son of Great Britain. This tactical error led to him losing up to 5 minutes at the finish line to Blackmore and his teammate Louis Sutton and the Dutch dynamic duo of the Rabobank team, Darren van Beckham and Tijmen Graat, and the Italian, and already signed by Astana, Florian Samuel Cajamini, also 21 years old, who's never won a race outside the Italian territory but still was strong enough to win that stage in the Avenir, and will no doubt be part of the World Tour for the 2025 season. Pablo Torres lost the yellow jersey at 6th overall, 4 minutes behind the new British leader. Now obviously we're talking about a 7-day race, not a Giro d'Italia or a Tour de France in its 3rd week. and a stage that will be nothing like the one that Omery Sports will implement for the ascent of the Col de la Finestre in the Tour de France 2025, where it will be the main star climb of La Grande Boucle. Yeah, it was a practically flat stage of only 127 kilometres, and with the finish in Finestre, which, for the uninformed, is a all-category climb of more than 18 kilometres at almost 2,200 metres of altitude, with a very hard section on unpaved terrain and an average gradient of more than 9%. If it's not the most complicated pass of the Grand Tours, it's certainly one of the most difficult. Now, the real record of this ascent was held by the very dangerous Venezuelan, removed by a team of dopers like Vacansoleil on suspicion of drug trafficking for Gran Fondo races, José Humberto Rujano, in the ranks of the hilarious Androni Giocattoli of Gianni Savio, packed with dopers like Gollum Sella or Angel Vicioso during the 2011 Giro d'Italia while chasing the heart-sick Vasil Kirienka and leaving behind the doper Alberto Contretrol, who really should not have raced that race. Rujano clocked an ascent time of 62 minutes and 10 seconds, something which neither the dinosaur Mikel Landa attacking Alberto Contretrol in 2015, nor the white Kenyan himself in a Giro he shouldn't have raced either, due to his positive for salbutamol months earlier. Well, he couldn't beat it, despite the fact that the Kenyan from Team Sky that day had ascended the Italian Colossus in a hilarious manner. All of them have been pulverized by a young 18-year-old, born in Madrid and directed by Moonlight Machin himself. Let's not forget, he is the best talent scout in the world, and he doesn't mind giving his well-known formula to riders at such a tender age. From the base of the Col de la Finestre, the Spanish team went to work hard, at least to try to win the stage with Torres. With 13 kilometres to go, that is only 5 kilometres later, Torres flew like a rocket, just like the Slovenian alien himself at the Plateau de Bay. And no one saw him again till the finish line. His pedalling power was so impressive that, according to our friends at Lanterne Rouge, his display today surpassed that of La Rosière, and he becomes the best ever seen by an under-23 rider of all time, with more than 6 watts per kilo for 60 minutes and 45 seconds of climbing. In other words, Torres ascended a minute and a half quicker than Rujano in 2011, and up to 3 minutes and 34 seconds quicker than the white Kenyan on the day he decided to blow up the 2018 Giro d'Italia. The data is so incredible that during his entire career, not even in the years when he was winning the Tour de France and everyone said he was doing it on a motorized Pinarello, Froome could not match Torres' data on an all-category pass. Never once. The most surprising thing is that the Spanish rider has not been able to win the Tour de l'Avenir against Joseph Blackmore, missing out by 12 seconds. For the British rider also made the best ascent of his career, finishing 4 minutes behind the Martian performance of the Saunier Duval Gen Z rider. We're no longer talking about improvements in materials and nutrition compared to the dim and distant 1990s. We're talking about displays that happened only 6 years ago, and that these young monsters are pulverizing with a smile on their face. Cyclists like Torres are the ones who can really shake the reign of the alien and the anchovy in 3 or 4 seasons. But seeing as he's being led by Dracula and Moonlight, who knows, perhaps even in the year 2025 we will see the first pro shows of Torres. Subscribe to the channel to find out, and also stop by the video on the screen. You know you'll love it.